What's going on, everybody? So, you know, one thing I've always loved, I loved pissing off the authority. You know, pissing them off, just pissing them off, getting on their last nerve. And you want to know what? I think there was a point in my life when I got older and I felt guilty. I said, Jerry, you know, if you just paid more attention, if you just went along with the program, you know, you might have been some wealthy entrepreneur riding around the back of a limousine, being all kinds of fancy and stuff like that. Then I woke up and I realized what a great thing I did by being an ass. I was terrific at it. I pushed them to their limits. I said, F you to the authority. I said, you ain't gonna program me. And you want to know what? It's for the good. Because I didn't get so programmed. You know? I was out of line. I was out of hand. Jerry, get with the program. No, I didn't get with the program. Which means I got less programmed. At least that's what I'd like to believe. So, howdy, everybody. And that's what we're going to do is we're going to piss off a few of the authorities today. Not right off the bat. I'm going to show you in a few minutes here. You know, of course, I want to go back to a little bit of this, okay, this Tesla technology, and why I think it's important. You know, we've heard rumors, we've read things that may have suggested that a lot of this secret knowledge is sometimes made public throughout history, okay? Now, we can look at an interesting time in our history at the top end of the Industrial Revolution and around the turn of the century when electricity was coming on the scene. And what it looked like from, you know, the Edison and Tesla thing was it was almost like, you know, some of this knowledge was being introduced again. You know, they always said that Einstein never really knew his theories, that he was given some secret knowledge through the ancient Jewish books, then released it, basically. And if you look at Tesla, you say, wait a second, this might actually be true. And I'm having a tough time debating with myself whether his technology was handed down via some of these ancient Jewish texts, or was it because of some of the knowledge that was passed down through where he lived in the Serbian area, because they have now found these giant pyramids. And I'm going to show you something here in a second that has some comparison between the pyramids and his technology. And let's start off here. Let's blow this up here so you can see it. Okay, start off here. Let's take a look at here. And I don't know who did these images, but they're kind of silly, but they're going to help get the point. Okay, what we have here is you could see that he had his Tesla tower, and what it did is it somehow drove copper down to an aquifer. Okay, we understand little things about aquifers where they actually resonate sound and create a frequency with rising and pressurized water and everything else. Okay, that there's a very interesting frequency where it's almost like it absorbs frequency from within the earth, and you know, water is kind of electric in a way, and transferring that electricity or that frequency to the copper and then riding out to his special tower. And then he sent that electricity from, well, Wardenclyffe to New York City. And of course, we already discussed how 100 years ago that there was these electrical free energy transfers from Wardenclyffe, which is where Brookhaven Laboratory is, and then to New York City. So I'm going to bring this up here. Of course, it's a little bit silly of a picture here, but you could see the pyramids, and it's a good comparison. The pyramids in Giza have a lot of similarities. You know, you have your aquifer, and you have your, you know, construction. Okay, so there's a lot of questions to that. There's a lot of you know, similarities, because I haven't found anything in the text that mentioned Tesla going to Egypt. I could be wrong, and if somebody finds that text, they can feel free to send it to me. I'd love to read it. But I think it's important to see that, okay, well, if Tesla never went to Egypt, he would have either had to study these unknown, at that time, they were unknown pyramids in where he was born, in that region of Eastern Europe, and or he would have had to gotten these texts. He would have had to learn from this knowledge. And of course, that goes to show that, you know, Tesla may have been involved with some of these secret societies more than we actually know. Okay, so I think it's important information to know out there. And, you know, the next one I'm going to bring up, and somebody added some silly stuff in it, but I think it's a good picture to, you know, just to kind of take a look at, to understand it a little clearer. Okay, what's going on here? And you see here, okay, somebody put the Ark of the Covenant here. And let me tell you something, I don't think they have the Ark of the Covenant. I think they try to duplicate it. And I really, you know, if I had anything to do with it, I would make sure they never get their hands on that. Okay, but the question is here is, you know, we really don't know an awful, you know, everything I've read, the pyramids were more used for secret society initiation, basically rites rooms to move up in, you know, whatever it was. And the question I have is the comparison you have to Tesla's device. Is it almost looks like he simplified some of the ancient technology, which means this technology is actually really old. And, you know, what I want to do is, this is where I'm going to piss people off, and not you guys, I'll never piss you guys off, is I'm going to show a few places where this all, you know, may be happening. But yeah, I see 4WP's there. You know what's good is I want to thank you, because he brought up a very, very, very good point. Okay, we have these hadron colliders all over the country and all over the world, and the point is, okay, yeah, I mean, how many of those do you need to smash? You know, to smash an atom to see it smash? You know, because in theory they just shoot at each other, they smash, and they make a little squiggly line on an oscilloscope, right? Okay, well, you can have one place do it and everybody go there and look at it. You don't need to be spending billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars, then billions of dollars at these places, building more and more of them. It basically, you know, that cover throughout the country. Well, because when you actually look at these places, they actually cover, like, I don't know, they almost grid off the highly populated areas, right? They almost kind of cover the country, you know, far as population goes, like if they were planned to, like, cover those areas. In other words, you know, like if you got the country, right? You got America, and you have certain places that are more populated than others. But if you're going to put a facility in centralized locations to service those highly populated areas, it's almost like these places are positioned to do so. Okay? So why would you need that if you're just looking at, like, shit smash into each other, you know? But I think that's a very important point, is how many of these places do you need to look at a little line go, you don't. So there's more. There's more going on with this stuff, I think. Let me see, was it the Pyramid Club? Rosicrucian Club starts the program with the pyramid power. Yeah. Yeah, Rosicrucians. You know, yeah, they're a bunch that, well, you know, it's interesting to learn about them if you really go back to their start. Okay, they are a Masonic organization. It's, you know, it's the same families that started like the Masons, same freaking people. They were more of the magical part of it. That you know, I think the Rosicrucians were really, they took the tarot card to the next level and all this and that. So, you know, it's quite interesting, especially when you see like the Illuminati card set and whatnot. I mean, that's kind of a Rosicrucian thing to do. So that always, every time I see those cards, it always reminds me of the Rosicrucians. You know, yeah, the AMORC. Yeah, they're a strange group, and if you read, I think one of their big places back at the turn of the century was in Pennsylvania. I'm trying to remember where in Pennsylvania where they were. They actually have like a little, what do you call it? A little resort, and they would host different Masonic groups that would move up into different rites in the higher degrees. And they took pride in talking about how they initiated doctors and lawyers and you know, those type of people, and they took a lot of pride in that. And you'll find out that, you know, that history was always there. You just don't find as much writing about the current people that are involved in these things. But when you want to talk about who's behind a lot of this crap, yeah, you have to go back to these groups, because if they were the ones doing it back then and the ones that we're talking about doing it in the future, yeah, it's them. So, despite what they might want to say, I don't give a shit. They are very guilty. Very, very guilty, you know. But let me jump over here real quick, because I want to just go over that real quick. All right. And blow this up. Okay, you see the tunnels. We already talked about that. Okay, but there's, you know, here's, let me see. Yeah, shut up, Gaia, whatever. But there's interesting. You know, you have this tunnel, or this basically, this, they are even discussing it as a basically a Tesla generator here in Waco. And the reason why I wanted to discuss that, because we know that one of these blue lights have already gone on here in Texas. Another reason why I wanted to show this area, all right, is, of course, you know, Dallas has always had the very Masonic history. This is where the Masons assassinated JFK, okay? And you know what? I mean, I don't know if I could switch it real quick and even show you this, just so people, I'll back out and explain some more and see if we can. All right, let's see if I can find Dealey Plaza off the top of my head. All right. I should be able to find it pretty quick. Alright. Alright, yeah, because you can always find Dealey Plaza by, all of a sudden, you'll see the Kabbalah tree. Do you see the Kabbalah tree? Alright. That's how I always find it real quick. And then when you zoom in, alright, I'm going to try and keep it slow as I can so the resolution keeps up with you guys. Yeah, they named the plaza after him. Okay. But what you're going to see, okay, you got your points and all that, but what happens is you see here, all right, you have a obelisk, which it has 14 slices on it, which is the 14 slices that represent Osiris's penis being cut off, okay? Over here you have the John Daly statue. He was 33rd degree Mason. Now the obelisk was in front of the reflecting pool, which represents Isis, the female end of all that, okay? And the grassy knoll, because you always have to do a sacrifice in the grove, okay? So what you find here is it all esoterically comes out, you know. That's actually interesting. That's on Houston Street, because Houston Street, we just had, what was that on Houston Street was where Nikola Tesla in New York City had his laboratory, another one of his laboratories. So that's actually interesting too. But anyways, so in the Grove is where they assassinated him. It's the Tree of Life gangsters, ISIS, Osiris, ISIS, and execution. All right, very easy. The Masons did it. Okay, there's more to that, but I'm not going to get into that so much right now. What I do want you to see is, of course, this is where they're testing. So most likely what you're going to see is at a range about this area where any other blue light may happen. Okay, where blue light and transformer, somewhere in this area. And down here you have in Austin, where the U.S. Army PSYOPs units are. You're going to see a lot of false flags, psychedelic, or not psychedelic, well, maybe psychedelic, but PSYOPs going on between here, San Marcos, and San Antonio. Okay, and they all have major MK Ultra programs, but this is also an area where you may see another blue light. Now, where we see other ones are, just so I can slide out, there's going to be a couple places, can almost happen almost anywhere in California. All right, Washington, you're going to see possibly one between Spokane and Seattle. Okay, that's where I would, or somewhere between Tacoma, Seattle, and Spokane is where you may see another one. All right, and of course Virginia, there's a possibility, and of course we said Louisiana, and the other one I'm expecting is somewhere in Illinois. It could be anywhere from, you know, this whole area. All right, and of course also with Brookhaven Laboratory. Okay, in that whole area we may see more, and I just wanted to make sure that was out there. Again, there's stuff that goes around in the Virginia, Maryland area. I think there's actually something that may be in the North Carolina. I have to verify that. That may be just coming over from Virginia. And of course we said Louisiana. Florida, if I remember where they had it, I know if I remember where they had it, it is not so much in southern Florida. I think it was mid-Florida where they have this type of technology. Of course, it could reach, you know, we don't really know. You know, I think each time they may push further and further their reach of this type of technology. But I like to do, you know, I just wanted to show the map there. That way, if the blue lights come, you know, I got it. And if they don't come because I mentioned something, that pisses them off and costs them money, and that makes me happy. I love costing Masons money. It really makes me happy, you know, because these Mason scientists don't think, oh, what a great experiment does, you know, for the good of man, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, until some old lady down the street has a freaking heart attack from a giant, you know, explosion happening in her neighborhood. No, I'm not kosher with those people. No, You know what I mean? King James 1, Christ was a key Rosicrucian, then Mason. Yeah. Absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah, scary secret societies. You know, we have to stop them somehow. And that's why I like to, you know, get things like that out there. Just so if it slows them down, if it makes them change something, whatever it does, it costs them money. You know, that's something I like to do. They don't deserve to get away with this stuff so easily. They've been doing it for a long time. You know, I think we're there. You know, even if you read it, they're just making it more visible. It's like this is their coming out party. You know, we've always been involved in this stuff. Now you're just seeing it. Ha ha ha! You can't stop us. I'm the contraire, mon frere. I'll do whatever I have to stop you fools. You know, and if I can't, I want to make sure that the people are involved in this, I some way can make them feel miserable enough about themselves that it eats inside them, because you know they are trying to play God, like we discussed today, is they don't do it right. Their geo-engineered snow is nothing like the real snow. It's not as pretty. It's just, you could just sense there's a difference between what's real and what's fake. And what's fake is never as beautiful as what's natural. is that's the whole thing, whether they call it a eugenics program or, supremacy. And these people are racist supremacists. They think they can play God. They think, their race, their whatever is more important than everything else. And no, it's not. And these people are really sick people. But what's natural is the most beautiful thing in the world. What's fake is just, it's not right. It don't come out right. And it's never going to come out right. So stop trying to play God, Masons. It's a sick mental thing. If you think about it, if you study psychology, they tell you what people that have God complexes where they think they're God are mentally ill. All right? And, if you look at the history, it's a secret society thing that started all the different psychology fields. So therefore, by their own definition, they are mentally ill. Mentally ill. Masons are mentally ill for believing their own shit. I say lock them up. Strap them to gurneys, throw them in the hospitals where they experimented with people, right? Eye for an eye. These people are sick. You're not God, I'm not God, and they are definitely not God. And nobody should ever play God. Because when you leave the shit alone, it comes out beautiful and natural. But they can't help themselves. They gotta tweak things. They gotta experiment. No, you don't need to tweak things or experiment. No. If there was a constant progression where it helps society, yeah, but no. When they play with things, they introduce things like cancer. They introduce things like AIDS. They introduce, beams of energy that are crashing down on the people and, blowing shit up. No, that's not a good idea. There is something natural that can be, but I think what's going on with a lot of the space fencing and everything else is them. You got to think about it like this. When the emergence of electricity came on the scene, right, the turn of the century, what made the most sense to the wealthy investors, Morgan and the others, is Edison's system where it was controlled and the ability to make money off of it a lot easier than Tesla's technology. Well, I think we're at another age point where they're trying different things and going to see, what's going to work for this next generation, this next, age or whatever you want to call it. And you could bet your ass they're trying to figure out what's the way they can control us the most and charge us the most. And that's what we're going to get. Because when it comes down to it, if you look at it and you look at the, if you saw the pictures there, the schematics are basically the same. Tesla's technology was not new technology. It was old technology. Okay, and now it's still old. But are they going to give it to us? Yeah, no. They got to figure out a way to charge us and control us with it. And that's, I think, more or less what they're experimenting with now. We're dealing with a new age where there's probably a couple people like Tesla and Einstein out there, and they're experimenting with a few different things, and whatever the elite decide that's best for us is what we're going to end up with. Because we know that free energy is there, but it's not our choice. It should be our choice. It should be our choice, and we need to fight to get it to be our choice. But that's what they think. They think it's going to be their choice and their decision on what is best for us. And if we don't understand the things that they're doing and understand who these people are and what their intentions are, we're going to get the shit end of the stick like usual. Because that's what happens. The shit end of the stick. you know? So, natural is definitely beautiful. It is. I don't care what anybody says. You know, people want to alter things. You know, I mean, that's something that I don't believe in. You know, everybody's always asking me that question because, you know, people that know me know that, you know, I have 2 artificial legs. I wasn't born perfect. But to me, I was always born perfect. I was never depressed about it. People are like, well, you should be depressed. No. I feel lucky. It gave me a point of view to see the life I did. I'm happy. And I understand my perfection. Why does that have to be altered? It doesn't come out good when it's altered. If we could teach people to be happy with, or to understand how to be happy with the gifts that they were given. I always believe things evened out, you know? I may have had this problem, but but look at me. I'm getting old, and I'm still gorgeous. You know, for a guy, what the hell? A lot of men my age couldn't freaking, please. I don't need them telling me what's best for me. I could determine that. Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. We don't have a say. We don't have a say. Because when you look at it, they like to gauge the people by what's popular. Well, I mean, they pre-engineer what they want to be popular. So how are they deciding from what's popular? Shouldn't they, you know, decide from, like, you know, manipulated group? They should find the most manipulated people. That way they can find out what's the most manipulated answer, right? Because, you know, if you want something to go a certain way more than you want it to go another way, and you program society to go towards that certain way, and then they all say, yeah, we want to go that way, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's why, yeah, and we agree too, you know? No. It doesn't even make sense. You gotta stop socially engineering this world, people. Let people be independent. You know? Let people use their free will. Let people grow naturally. Because that's what works the best. But they can't help themselves. They gotta dip their bullshit into everything we do. And it needs to stop. Yeah, Alright, I'll go. You want me to go? I'll go. Alright, that's the end of the show. We'll go. Getting kicked off. Alright. I'll see y'all later.